Good evening, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. My name is Curtis Henry, and I will be your moderator this evening. Karin is smiling so wide, you can flip the banana sideways. What's with the big hefty smile this evening?
Rude.
No.
Hi, everybody.
What are you so happy about?
Hi, Karen.
I'm a happy human being. I'm a happy person.
You just happy?
She can spread the joy. I mean, it's very joyous. It's gleaming through the screen, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know. It's just rare. She came on and the smile was all the way back up.
Yeah,
Not that I'm complaining. It was just refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, it was refreshing.
Good evening and welcome.
Thank you.
You all right? You all right?
Me all right.
All right. Good to know. Mr. Samuel Archer, how are you doing today?
I good, I real good, man. Just all in the vibes. Looking forward to this new episode this evening. It's a very, very beautiful number. And I believe that each number we have, bringing us closer to 100.
Hi, Andrea.
It's a beautiful thing, So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about tonight. That, the day was a long day, crazy day, craziness. But, we in the vibes there, man. All right. Somebody say,
Andrea, talk about him look dashing tonight.
Good
night, Andrea. Good night, Andrea Lamont. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Andrea. I see Sam has his tea ready.
I make coffee.
Getting the pipes washed, getting everything primed and ready for tonight.
But wait till
little snack
tonight. Wait till I know what's
you can't stop but snacking. Good night, Lucy O'Brien. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I like how we started off. We have an interesting mix. We have one person who reside in foreign, and we have somebody else who reside in Trinidad.
That's a good start, right?
Home and foreign.
They're both foreigners here in the United States.
The people here on the panel, we're the ones caught up in the middle. We the Americans in the bunch. I believe Andrea is hailing from across the border in Canada. And we here in America. So very good, Andrea. I need for you to participate in this because we tonight will be talking from the American perspective, and I'd like to know how things are over there in Canada as we introduce the topic. And you, I am pretty sure, can identify with it. So as we anticipate the arrival of Dr. Judith, and we will be having a special guest tonight, and hopefully someone else will be dropping by momentarily to partake in this conversation. Wait a minute, Andrea in Brooklyn? Why did I think Andrea was across the Canada in Moose Country? Okay, welcome. Nevertheless, my second home, my first home, Brooklyn, New York. That's where I touched down. Stayed there for 20-something years.
Yeah,
nevertheless,
old stomping ground.
It ain't old, That is still.
No, that's old, right. New York old, man. New York old.
I still have mayoral rights to my neighborhood. But anyway, nevertheless, Sam, run the thing.
We're going to run it. Yeah, let me run it.
My name is Karin Forrester. I represent BantuKreations. BantuKreations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in wonderful shapes, shades, sizes, and colors. Please don't be scared of the large sizes. They're extremely lightweight earrings. BantuKreations can be found on IG and on Facebook as BantuKreations. That's Bantu Creations with a K.
Come check me out, chriskeys.com. I'm worldwide.
Tony Altamirano.
Hi, I'm Gina.
What's up, everybody? I'm Win Vu, award-winning remixer.
Koya, I'm an artist.
Hi, my name's Justina Bethel.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowen from Denton, Texas.
How you doing? This is Tom Cutt from Music by Tom Cutt. Check out Samuel E. Archer's book, Hybrid Executive. We are in the business, and here's how you can be a better business person because you're running your business.
You can find my music at JustinaBeth_EL on Instagram or JustinaBethel.com, and I am a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive, just like you.
Follow me at Koya Music, and I'm also a hybrid executive.
I'm worldwide, baby, but just know I'm a hybrid executive. That's all you need to know, baby.
Get on up, B.
Check out my music, MikeBowen.com. I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive just like you, Judith.
Hello.
Dr. Judith, good night and
Hello.
welcome. Good night and welcome. Good night and
Hello,
welcome.
hello, lovely folks.
Hi.
So glad you
How
can
you
join
doing,
us.
darling?
Why it looks so big?
What,
Move this thing.
sweetheart?
Well, sweetheart, what you say?
Let me stop. Hi, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's as long as it's real.
I'm a fan
Let
of
me
myself.
know.
I'm a fan of
Let me know when all you're done.
I am. Listen, I really am being very, as usual, very straightforward. I wanted to be on, but I have to get up at 4:00. I have a special assignment in the morning, and so. But I wanted to see your lovely faces and say hi.
So I will wake you up at 4 in the morning. I'll pass by, throw a book at the window. You'll get up.
Anyway, like I
When
said,
she says she had to get up at 4 in the morning, like, is that from the old time or that's the new time?
the new time, sweetheart.
The new time, okay.
The new time.
Okay.
Okay, so Sam, as we begin, let's stay on the lookout for those others who will be joining in on the
Well,
conversation.
Phonics is in the back room.
Okay, let him in. Let him in the room.
You know, he is now officially in the room.
Good night, J Phonics.
Greetings, everyone. How are you?
Could you pull down the top of your screen, please? Or is it that not you, Judith?
I just don't want to be.
Okay, J Phonics. If you can pull down the top of your screen, less headroom, or maybe you need a booster seat. I don't know.
Woo!
Just get yourself. There you go. That's a whole.
Like that. Don't you dare.
That's a whole lot better. That's a whole lot better. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm in the little man's chair.
Don't get fooled. This
shit.
is a big dude. You hear me? No, this is a big dude, man. Don't think he's sitting in no little boy's chair right there. But anyway, we're gonna get the thing rolling. Karin, tell me again, what is the name of the show?
Second and third generations rejected.
Second and third generations rejected. Strangely enough, I am first generation. Born and bred in my homeland, Trinidad and Tobago. Now I ask myself, and I ask you, how did I become a stranger in my own land? Why am I not looked at the same opportunities when I return home to the land of my birth? I really hope that what I'm talking about here is an isolated incident, and that citizens of my neighboring countries in the Caribbean somehow embrace all their nationals and make them feel at home whenever they choose to return home.
No.
But back to me. Why do I feel somehow ostracized from certain groups, as if the years I resided outside of my homeland made me less of a citizen? Ever since I was a child, I heard the term thrown around loosely. a nickname given to anyone who emigrated from the land of their birth and returned with any form of an accent. They were referred to as freshwater Yankee.
Aye.
And often frowned upon by friends and often family members. Many believe that the difference in your dialect was done under false pretense. And somehow you made a conscious decision to give up your accent and now speak with a foreign tongue. Let me tell you something, people. There is no way that you can associate yourself or live amongst another culture and not be influenced by it in some way, shape, or form. Whether you choose to, believe it or not, you do become a product of your environment. So why then should I be treated differently because I have changed? I am no longer the person you knew. That's what some people say. Is it because I have changed? Or is it because you remain the same person? Panelists, please tell me that my situation was not an isolated incident.
Not at all.
It's not isolated.
Not at all.
Happens every day.
Anyone can bite it. I remember going back to Jamaica after a couple of years here, and my favorite aunt, I expected that lady to just run up and just grab me, hug me up, because she hadn't seen me in quite a number of years. And she stayed on one side of the room and I was on the other. And I was young enough to feel strange. I didn't try to ask her any questions. I just felt really weird. This is Auntie. What's going on? Auntie, that's not really speaking to me. She stayed on one side of the room. And for the entire time I was there, she never really came up to me and, chat like she knew me. She all they do is judge how physically you've changed, or maybe your clothing or whatever, and they don't realize your heart is the same. You're still the same person that wants to be held by them. They look at you like you're so different. You're like you're another life form. Never liked that at all. More than one person has done it, but that impacted me the most.
Sam, you disagreed also. What's your experience with this?
Yeah, there's a lot. I'll probably, as the night go on, I'll throw them in. But I do run into, when I go home, the taxi rides are more expensive. Unless you know where to go. Yeah. So normally, if I'm not going to rent a vehicle, there's a special way I can travel to a certain part, and then I'll get the local prices for the taxi cab. So
are you saying you are picked upon? You are punked because you speak with a different dialect now? You seem like a foreigner to them. Yeah, to a degree. And I'm recognizable too. So, once you come in, you look like Father Christmas coming through. So, it's really more about, where you bring back for me, and there is an adjustment to prices on certain things, because now you come down from the States, you can afford certain things. To pay more.
You could afford to pay more. Some things would remain, the man in the grocery would not really kick his prices up because, those would stay the same. But certain things where where you have to use your judgment on the cost, yes, you will be paying a little bit more. The accent thing is a little bit more understood because, if you live somewhere for a little while, they'll kind of gather that, but it's definitely a giveaway, But
let me ask, Sam, are you Tibigonian enough for Tobago people, or do you have to? You find yourself having to try extra hard? No. If I had stayed away where it was like a really long gap, and so I always would go home
So even though there might be a little gap here and there in terms of maybe the younger folks coming up, there's still some sort of, okay, yeah, this is this guy from this village over here, and he's an archer, and and we still have a little bit of what used to be where last names would be in a certain part of the island, so the archers would reside in a certain area, so archers are still in that area. So so the last name connected to an area still has a little bit of
Is there a class system with the names as well?
Not really. No, not really. Not like, well, your last name put you in a class or anything.
Okay.
But there might be reputations.
Yeah. I was about to say that my last name, my reputation precedes me. So even though I left since the late 70s, on my block, the name still has a tiny bit of respect because I did mark my territory.
So you're a legend.
I don't quite want to say that, but I did leave my mark.
Yeah, you left a mark. So you're somewhat a legend, yeah.
Allow me to welcome our guest, Mr. Jay Phonics. Could you introduce yourself, please, and tell us who you are and what it is you do?
Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Phonics, son of a Trinidadian father. His name is Odongo in Trinidad and Mova. And he's a big popular guy, police in St. James in the 60s.
Oh.
50s and 60s. Popular guy. And I'm his son, I'm his junior. And I carry the same weight in the States as a local, well-known guy. I'm a musician, entertainer, film director, all those things. But people gravitate to me as they did with my dad, so I carry the same spirit. But I'm a descendant of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
And here, I was born in America. I'm the second child of 8 children's offspring, if you understand what I'm saying. My dad had 7 siblings. So when they came to the States, a lot of them had children already in Trinidad and Tobago. I happen to be the second born in America. Okay. So when I'm with my relatives, the first thing they say is, boy, you're a Yankee. So, I mean, out of the blue, I could be having a full-blown conversation, a Trini conversation. Out of the blue, well, you're a Yankee. We talking more. You know what I'm saying? How you
I think they smell you because you could be dressed just like everybody else that you're hanging with, and they come right to you and know that you're not from the area.
Right.
You're from foreign.
I would just jump in and say I don't think all of it is of a negative nature.
No, it's not negative. It's just that they're
some of it would just be a genuine,
very
like,
alert.
wow,
Very alert.
This is someone who was abroad. They're here,
It's not negative.
Who travels, and I guess it's sort of like a mystery. If you've never traveled and you see someone who has traveled, that you probably knew before, so you probably come up in primary school, and then this person might have traveled, you come back, and you link up again. It's sort of like a wow. It has a little wow effect to it. So I think, in some aspects it is negative, but in some aspects it's just that they're expressing in the moment,
I remember going back when I was 14, and a group of girls were in a housing scheme that I was completely unfamiliar with in Clarendon. And a group of girls passed me. Instead of saying, hey, how are you? What's your name? Girl, where you come from? Listen to me. They want to draw me out. And I tried to draw out my tongue that day. God, no. But I didn't really react to that too tough. But I wanted to.
Dr. Judith, do you have to fling on more patois than necessary to deem yourself still Jamaican, or you find that some people she Americanized, she Yankee girl. You find yourself having to solidify yourself as a true born Jamaican.
When I return to the island, you mean?
Stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Do understand this. When I do return to the island, a land of, what do you call it? Wood and water.
The land of wood and water.
When I return, nobody know me a blouse and skirt. Nobody knows me. So it doesn't make any difference. I could speak French. It don't matter because nobody knows me. I have no schoolmates. My family that's there is there. And, there's nobody to say, stop pop style. Right. There's nobody there. So I don't have those lovely issues that you folks face. I'm sure if I went on the bus, somebody would say, a Jamaican that, right? She go on like she. I know I probably hear that. But to say
proper.
As you said that, Dr. Judith, I remember when I went home, I went to Tobago to teach at my alma mater for a little stint. And I think by the second week, I'm talking. Now, I wasn't trying to do anything. I'm just being me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in the canteen with some of the kids. And I'm talking, and so one of the kids came over and say, Sir Archer, you don't sound right.
No.
I started cracking up. I said, I don't sound right. He said, no, sir, you don't sound right at all.
Hush, yeah.
But I think by the third or fourth week, I got back into the rhythm, and I was able to work with the lingo a little bit. Now the funny thing too is that we have a prestigious school in Tobago called Bishop High School. Is prestigious. Now I went to this, so I'm teaching at a school where the students actually thought I went to that school. I guess because of my deportment, like how I carry myself. So they were like, well, yeah, he probably went to that school over here and he's teaching here. And I'm like, no, I came to this school. So it's like,
are you saying that the ones at Bishops are more better bred?
Explain that to me. Well, okay. Well, remember Karin asked about a class system. So Bishop is known prestigious as they do well in their passes. Back in the day, most of the well-to-do went there. So it was like if we had something called common entrance. So this was the test you would do to go to the different high schools. So if you passed to go to Bishop, it was like winning a lottery ticket to come to the States. It was a big deal, And then you had the government schools, and then my school was a private Christian school. So at that time, if you passed to go to my school, it was like okay.
What I compare the way that they treat a lot of us when we return, like in the animal kingdom, birds or even other four-legged animals as well. When a baby bird, let's say for example, is touched by a human being, that animal is rejected by the parent, as if you're stained forever or something like that. That's how I feel. I really, really do. I don't know why, but that's the first thing I thought of when I was thinking about the subject. How somehow it's as if we've been touched. We've left the island, or we were born in another, and we are so different. They consider us so different from whatever their norm is.
It's just jealous and jealous. Them just have them jealousy in the open.
We know what the jealousy, but it's just like
No, not
the
you.
family.
Them jealousy window open. You go America and come back, and that's all it is. Them don't give up blouse and skirt. Them just happy. Them just sad to know it wasn't them come back. That's all.
I think she's correct. I have to agree. There's a high sense of envy when I hear that.
Listen, I think sorry to cut you, Han, but let me tell you this: there's a great jealousy of amongst islanders, especially all over the world, but especially islanders, for the people who get the Manila envelope to go downtown to the custom. When you carry your Manila envelope down to the customs and you get your paperwork, jealousy, them just have to see the envelope and them upset. You must remember that.
But I remember going home on vacation and people asking me where I was from. Say, where you from? No, I had to put on my best Trinidad accent. Say, where you mean where you from?
Go down a route. No.
They say, where you mean where you from? They say, no,
how dare you not claim me?
You talk different. You talk. Personally, I don't think I sound any different. But when you look, like I said, you do become a product of your environment. I lived for 20 years with a guy and his wife. She adopted some of my mannerisms and language, and I, whether I realize it or not, adopted some of hers. And being around her family, a rather large family, for 20 years, you must pick up some innuendos, something about your speech, something about your language, something about your appetite will in fact change. You cannot leave
That's a fact.
your homeland for 5 years and return the same person. The American culture rubs off on you in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes we don't even realize it when they say, yeah, man. You would never say man if you were living in Trinidad or Jamaica or what. Yeah, man. No, and that's because you are associating with your American friends or associates on the job or whatever it might be. So you pick up some of that without even realizing it. And the people home now judge you and think that, oh, you are sellout, or you're pretending in some way, shape, or form. And then, years ago, there was a song that said, all of these things that we wear when we come home, we buy them 2 for 1. 2 for 1. We buy them 2 for 1 in the store on sale and put them down in a special suitcase for when we return home to show off, as if the streets of America paved with gold. But I don't show off. I wear my clothes.
Oh, it's how you wear them. It's the swagger.
How were you treated as a musician when you went to Trinidad? Were you considered the same caliber, the same quality? How were you treated as a musician?
Me or Jay?
Jay Phonics.
It was actually a welcome. I went just before, I think 2 years before the pandemic. I had a family reunion in Trinidad. We go every year. And we was actually in Tobago. We was in Tobago for a while. I went to a local Tobago, like a shack, a little bachi.
Look at him trying to turn on the accent for you.
You know what a bachi is, right, Henry? Right, Samuel? A bachi is like a small.
Like a bachelor pad. They say that's short for a bachelor pad. Just something for one person.
Right. So it's a small little bachi radio station. And I went there to promote the record I was doing, and they jam it right then and there and play it. And
I think I know where you went.
No, I went to Tobago. So
I think I know where you went.
and I just wrote the song probably a month prior. The name of the song is called One Family. So I made it for the reunion, and they played it right there on the spot. The guy was like, "Come, let me play it." And he welcomed me. I said, "I'm from the States, He said, "Man, it don't matter. I like the tune."
That's cool.
And he welcomed me with open arms. Now, that's a radio station. Let's say I'm on a major platform, which I haven't done yet. Let's say I do a concert in Trinidad. I'm skeptical. I don't know how they will receive me. as an American hip hop panist.
They'll receive you.
I don't know, because growing up, all I hear is, "A man's a Yankee, but a man playing a pan good, but he's a real Yankee." But...
So hold on, J Phonics. hold on. Are you telling me that you're born in America?
Correct.
I born in Trinidad.
Right.
Obviously, we can see by the coloration of the facial hair. I have you by a few years.
Correct.
You're telling me you born in America as a Yankee and you play pan?
Yeah.
I can't play pan.
I play pan from, well, my very first instrument was a pan at 8 years old, but I didn't get an opportunity.
Why this fella come on the show to show me off, boy, and I show me up, and I either Trini and can't play pan? Where is this? Did anybody check his credentials before he come on? Why is he showing me up right now and I can't play pan?
Well, again,
don't feel bad about it.
Pans in the kitchen.
Like you say, it's
pans in the kitchen.
Your environment, right? So if you're a product of your environment, my father was he was an Iron Man in Silver Ammonites in Trinidad.
Okay.
So I around music from the time I'm born. So it's iron, it's pan, it's Kitchener. So that's what made me different. Because in Brooklyn, all my peers and my friends, their house is not like that. They playing WBLS. My father playing WBLS, but he playing Kitchener and Shadow and Sparrow and
Shadow.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
the importance of what you're saying is that for people like me and Sam, the older generation, who born within and raised within that culture, that we need to have it ever present within the home if we expect that other generation to embrace it.
Of course. Jewish people do it, Asian people do it, Hispanic people do it, and that was my argument as a young person. I said, why is it accepted when a Hispanic American speaks Spanish and it's not a problem? But the minute I go into my accent with my people on the job, they, you know.
I wanted to chime in before we run away from the point. While I'd also would teach in New York, and I teach at various schools, and the carrying on the culture from the parents who would be from Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Grenada, Barbados, Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, all these different islands. You had parents who were very, very stern on making sure that their kids took something from the culture. And pan was one of those things where I would be in a school and the kids who played pan didn't only come from Trinidad. You had kids from Grenada playing pan, kids from St. Vincent playing pan. You know, pan was introduced to kids from Jamaica. You didn't know, if you didn't understand pan, you were introduced to pan. Plus, you have Labor Day, so that's another big situation there in Brooklyn. So I would say, just for the one of the good things with New York, with the Caribbean families, the tradition has a stronger sort of a thing, like, okay, you know what, you are from the Caribbean, these are the things we do, these are the restaurants, these are the foods, this is, so and actually props to the New York audience, the New York Caribbean families, because they actually carried all the other carnivals around the country. So if New York didn't come to Jersey Carnival, it bus. If they didn't go to DC or go to Baltimore Carnival, it bus. If New York don't go to Miami Carnival, it bus. Right. So the New York crowd from the Caribbean, we had to give them their props. They make sure that their children understand what's going on. So I just wanted to chime in and put that inside.
As a fact.
I have two daughters right now. Their mother's Guyanese, like I mentioned before, and they more adopted the Guyana side of things, and no one can tell them right now they're not Guyanese. Yeah, nobody can tell them they're not. Nobody can tell them they're not Guyanese. They love all the Guyanese food. They speak like the Guyanese when they're ready. They know how to pull that accent out to draw a certain point or to put somebody in the place. They know how to draw that out. And even more so than Trini. And that's because that was the dominant culture for them, because they had more support, more aunties and uncles and grandparents and all of that, whereas I was a lone soldier. I didn't have that support around me. So there was no, they didn't hear that Trini dialect growing up. I didn't speak that, so precise with people around me. So they adopted the Guyanese side of things.
Anyone side here, sir? I went to England many years ago, and I was in the train station, Victoria Station, and I saw these handsome fellas, very handsome, dark-skinned fellas, because I like people that looks like me. So I looked at them and I said, "Oh, very interesting." I went over to them and I said, "Hello," and they spoke to me very British, thick accent. I said, "Oh," I said, "Where are you from originally?" "Jamaica." How long you been here? 6 months. When you heard them speak the first time, I was like, whoa, I mean, British all the way. By the time I said, "Where you from?" "Jamaica." I said, "You talk like that after 6 months?" I swear. You don't know.
Those are what I refer to. Those are what people home would refer to as freshwater Yankee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that just pick up this thing without even, you didn't spend sufficient time in the seasoning. You just come across and you dash away what is yours, what was yours.
Dryland tourists. You ever hear that one there?
Until it bunks you too.
Right? My father used to talk about this Jamaican who comes home from America, goes home, and the father must ask him, "Do you know what that is referring to? Must mango or something? Call it some strange name." The father said, "All right, if you don't know what it is, mean it. Never get no mango."
But anyone of you all, I know Judith, I know you have nephews, but anyone here with children, nieces or nephews who have adopted your country in the Caribbean as their own, even though they weren't born there?
My son thinks he's a Jamaican. No matter what you say, he thinks he's a Jamaican.
Yeah, my kids as well.
Yeah,
I look young.
You look young.
Yeah, I have three adult children.
Wow. Okay.
You have 3 adult children?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Get out of here. You mean THREE, not TRE.
Three adult children. My oldest boy is 30.
No, get out of here.
My oldest daughter is 23, and my youngest son is 21.
You must have practiced telling lies, and it's not a good thing.
No. I was practicing for you. I was practicing.
You're practicing with you.
Yes, Samuel. I was practicing.
How about you, Sam?
I do remember one of the good things I was able to introduce when I went home to teach now. I had my girls with me, and they were able to go to the elementary school next to the high school. So they had a chance to experience it, but I don't think that they are confused. Well, not that they're going to be confused, but where they're going to say, "Well, yeah, I'm Tobagonian," or something like that. But they did experience, the life and being in school and interacting with the kids. They did do that. But as to have any family up here to where they're more Caribbean than American, I didn't really run into. I don't have a niece or a nephew like that. But the ones that live in New York will definitely know about Labor Day. They know about the different foods. If they want roti, they want pilau, or they want oxtail, where and they know where to get what certain foods, So when you say oxtail, you're definitely going to a Jamaican spot for that. You go pilau, you go in Trinidad for that, fry bacon thing, So certain Caribbean delicacies or dishes would be at certain restaurants from certain islands. So they kind of know that too, So
important. That's very important.
It's kind of like understanding. You wouldn't go in certain restaurants and say, "Yeah, well, we are pilau today." They go look at you like.
So Phonics, you tell me about the home now. You have a Trini home in terms of your diet and stuff like that. How you cook and stuff for them, or is it a KFC type environment?
Well, because they're adults now, I don't really cook again. So,
That's real.
But
that's a wrap.
I will go to a restaurant. I will go to a Trini restaurant and sit down and eat for myself and don't have to wash no pot or anything. But when I was younger, that's pretty much they got it live, like all the time. Heavy, like Samuel was saying, in Brooklyn, that is an everyday thing. So my kids know that. They know solo. They know, like, I really, really hone them into the culture because it's important. Because like they say, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going.
Yes.
And I really believe in that. So
I know what solo is, and they know chubby.
They know chubby. They know all kind of thing. They know all kind of. They know candy from Trinidad. They know
and sunshine snacks and things.
All them thing. They know shop and man. They know Clem. They know all kind of thing.
Clem.
They know scissors stick. You know what I'm saying? They know old fashioned ice cream. They know everything.
So hold on, Phonics. You're boasting and you're talking and you're all of that.
What is this? They know about that one. They know about that one.
I'm asking you. What is this?
I know about that. But
what is this?
I don't know about that. They will look at that.
This?
Like, what is that? What is that? That's an ornament.
I'm asking you. What is it?
Iron. Like how you used to iron clothes.
A cordless iron. I call it.
Right. My grandmother and them used to iron with that.
So let me. All right. So now I listen to Jay Phonics dialect and thing right now. This is broken English, right?
Right.
Now he sounds Trini to me. So
Trinita?
now but what I'm saying is that so for you, Jay Phonics, when you go home, you still singing different.
When I go to Trinidad, I song the same. When I'm in my
but they pick you. But I'm just saying, there's something about how you talk.
No, well, here's the thing. The people in town. Let me say I go Frederick Street, right, in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
No issue. But it's my family that would be because they know where I'm born.
Okay.
And then they will slow me down and then they'll say, "Oh boy, I just forget you're a Yankee, And they just pick on me, man, and I don't like it because here's the flip side. When we amongst family, it's a funny thing, but when I'm outside with my peers in America, growing up in Brooklyn, now it's cool to be Caribbean. But in the 70s, when they say, "Oh man, you a coconut," that was like that was a degrading thing. You know what I'm saying? Man, you a coconut, man. You like put you down. Oh man, you came off the boat. I'm like, man, my parents flew here on a plane, man. They don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about, man? What you talking about, son? You know what I mean? No boat.
And you talk about home. Some people actually thought I was faking when I returned home and asked for directions. Not for $1 million. I can't tell any one of you here or tell anybody where Piccadilly Street is in Port of Spain. The only street I know for certain is Frederick Street. And that, as I said before on the show, that was marked by Salvatore building. Now Salvatore break down. I don't know tongue.
Well, I used to, like, my relatives is from Mova and South, PT, Princesstown. So I just be all about Trinidad. But I could, when I go to Trinidad, I just drive and everything. So people just be like, he's a Trini fella. He just living in the States now. He put on a little weight. Because, you know, in Trinidad, them fellas be maga so, you know. Them fellas be, you know what I'm talking about, sir? Them fellas be like this small, you know.
Yeah.
And if
we look skinny here, right? And then they go home anyway. But I fat, drugs.
You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, that's the first thing they say. Boy, you get real fat, boy. You know what I'm saying? But
hold on. Let me test the Yankee boy again. Where's this?
Okay, to clean the house.
Or the yard. How you call it? Cookie boom.
Yeah.
All right, I just checked. The fella Trini, boy.
Man, now what's showing you?
He Trini.
What is this?
So I you remember you said that people were asking you if you were from there, right? And you couldn't save your life. I do have to send some props to one of my brothers, one of the elders from Mount Pleasant Village, because that's my village, Mount Pleasant, Bethany Village, Mount Pleasant area. And one of the elders in the village was talking to some of the young guys. Now, the young guys don't know me at all. The teenagers, the early 20s and stuff. So I left in the 80s. So there's a generation that, you know, they don't know, well, who is this fella? So they see me, you know, like I said, I went down to teach. And they see me passing through all kind of shortcuts. Because I walking through shortcuts that I used to walk a long time, you know. Or pass on certain areas. So one of the elders, he was talking to the guys from afar, but his voice was traveling. So I was able to hear like bits and pieces without even trying, you know. So I'm coming closer. And apparently the young guys was asking him, well, what about this dude coming up the road here? And then he had to tell them, okay, you see, that's a man from here. Don't touch him. You understand? So he was able to show them, this dude, this brethren here, he from this area.
He legit.
So yeah, just allow he and you'll be all right.
Guys, you know? so far we've been talking about Trinidad, Jamaica, and the islands in general, but there are over 200 million people, according to a UN article that I read recently, who identify themselves as people of African descent, whether we're talking about North or South America. And those people want to know where their ancestors came from. They want to see where their ancestors walked or tread, however you want to put it. But when they go to certain countries on the continent of Africa, they're treated the same way we've been describing. They are not, it's changing, but it's still a really difficult thing for them to sort of travel to like a Ghana or an Ethiopia or South Africa and feel comfortable. They just don't know, they don't learn about the culture that they're going to well enough. They judge everything by what the media presents to them in their home country or the country of their birth, let's put it that way. And when they go back trying to find ancestral homes, villages, they're not received well because they don't know what the culture, what the politics is. You know, they don't learn about the culture they're going to. So I think a lot of how they're treated the same way we're describing is based on the fact that they're not educating themselves before they're traveling to these areas. Any feedback on that?
I have some feedback.
Okay.
I think one of the points that you put across was to study. Mm-hmm. That's very important. If you don't educate yourself, how can you just drop yourself somewhere and expect to be welcome?
Man.
You must learn certain things. You must learn certain foods. You must learn certain way of gestures. You must learn clothing. Those things are very important. I have a friend from Haiti. She did a film based on what we're talking about. this topic. And the name of the film is called La Belle Vie, and she's a director. And basically, her parents were back in Haiti. They have an elite group of people who are entitled bourgeois. So
bourgeoisie,
right? So those are the high end, high fair skin Haitian. So her people is from that, but her parents left Haiti in the 70s and brought her to New York. So she's like me. She's a descendant of her island, American, but yet she's from Haiti. So her culture's in the house. So when she goes to Haiti, they mistreat her. They call her a white person. She's dark like me. They call her white.
Wow.
And I've seen that on the film. You can see it. The film was running on Channel 2. It's called La Belle Vie. I'll give it to you at one point, Curtis. I'll send it to you. It's on Amazon Prime, and I was like, wow. They just circle around her as she's filming. She's trying to help them with the earthquake and all that stuff. She's helping them, and they rejecting this girl. They calling her white, and her parents are Haitian. And I don't understand, but it's a universal thing. We have tribes, right? So I'm watching your I believe those are earrings behind you, right?
Yes.
So
yes,
you look at it as tribes. So each island is a different pair of earrings. So if you are green, you cannot wear a green and a brown, basically. Why not? Why not? It's still, if you look at it as a collective of earrings, right? They're all African earrings. They're collective. Why do we have to feel a certain way?
You know, as you say that, right? There's a musician. His name is Shelton Kilby. Shout out to Shelton Kilby. He's a musician from the States, and I think he was in Africa at one point, and he was playing. He's a pianist. He played certain pieces, and he was playing a piece, and certain pieces you put dynamics, and he's playing really slow and quiet. And he noticed when he got to those areas, the folks would kind of like mumble among themselves. And then when he played very aggressive, they were quiet listening. And he had to do a little thing behind it. And what he learned was when he played very soft and slow, they were asking themselves, does he know the piece? And then when he played aggressively, it was like, he knows this part of the song. These are the parts he knows, the parts where he has to slow down. So they didn't take it as dynamic. They took it as a different thing. And when Jay Phonics said, well, this is a universal situation, it's universal because, let's say the four of us are on the show tonight, and we might give each other's nicknames, right? And we might say, well, all right, well, there we go, call he this, we'll call he that, we'll call she this, and whatever. But that is between us. And I think when you pull the microscope out, we're kind of doing the same thing, so you might see a group here or a group there, and you might say, yeah, them look like, what them look like? They have on no socks, just shoes. Their hand ashy. Where them from? And in a way we just do that. Now, is it cool to do? Is it disrespectful? Is it something that we'll understand?
I don't think from the North American perspective that people intend on being disrespectful, or from the Caribbean. But as we stated, you have to know the culture, the religious practices, the politics.
Yes. Yeah,
you can't just step in and go in with that, let's say, North American mentality, like I'm owed this. I'm owed information, or I'm owed you receiving me in a certain way. And unfortunately, a lot of us who grow up here go into a lot of different countries, not just the continent of Africa, go into a lot of different countries with that attitude, like we're owed, we're entitled to something. No, the heck you're not. Humble yourself.
But that is the culture of America,
Hmm?
that is taught in America.
It is taught. It is taught.
In Western civilization, that's the
definitely is
problem with it. It's an attitude of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I remember years ago when the Rwanda situation was going on, I was speaking to an African guy. I can't remember this time what country he was from. But I asked him, in the case of some tribal warfare or something like that should break out, we were discussing what I saw on television, where they were butchering people with machetes and stuff like that. And I didn't see any difference between the people. They looked the same to me. And I asked him, let's say I was in a situation like that. Would any provisions be made to protect me as a foreigner, as a tourist, as someone who looks different from you? He looked at me, he said, my friend, you will be the first to die.
Because you're asking too much.
You get slashed, you get cut up like everybody else. All right, good.
No, he said you will be the first to die because we do not recognize you.
Oh gosh.
We do not recognize you as one of us. You will be the first.
There are some countries that are attempting to receive us meaning people in the Caribbean, people in the US of African descent, excuse me. They're trying to embrace us. Ghana in particular has been trying to welcome us. They have allowed us to come back. They've created proclamations to allow us to come into the country, to visit freely and to live.
Yes, I heard.
And to live.
And open
I had an experience with Senegal. Shout out to the Senegal folks.
Mm-hmm.
My experience with Senegal was pretty good. It felt like they rolled out the red carpet.
Oh, nice.
I mean, again, I don't know about the other places, but when I went to Senegal, it had that sort of a vibe because they look at you as someone who, was taken away and you made it back.
Back up. Mm-hmm.
So to them, it was as like a spiritual thing for them.
That's a welcome home. That's a welcome home, right?
However, the merchants and the vendors,
they talk to your Trini brothers and sisters.
They don't care. They coming at you. They want that money. And one of the things I remember on the trip, because I went to the conglomerate, and apparently the head customs agent and one of the guys in the crew that we were traveling with, apparently they went to primary school together or something. And I was looking at the action of all the other officers because now, the flight came in. Most of the people went through customs, and when I tell you customs, like when we go to Trinidad, they ask you anything to declare, and you could just say nah, nothing to declare, and they walk through.
Right.
Not them fellas. They want to open everything you have and pull out, and so that part of the flight happened already, and they didn't get to go into our luggage yet. So of course you had probably about 10 or 12 other officers just waiting by the table. So the two guys, they talking about their family and how this one doing and how that one doing in the lingo, in the language. And when the conversation was over, the guy who was leading the chief of all the customs agents, he gave the guys a signal. Let these pass. And somebody didn't see the signal. So as we walk in now, this other officer was coming up to the chief to say, well, we not, and then he just showed him, he just give him that sign and he said, no. They don't pass through. Of course, we didn't have anything special, you know, like we weren't come to sell anything, but we were guests coming into Senegal at the time. And he said, "Nah, these are important VIP people here. You know, just we had to show them how we just search stuff over here." You know? And they allowed us to pass through. Shout out to Sabra London, who had the vision to take me. They actually performed there as well, and it was a pretty good experience when I went there.
So Sam, tell me about the weather in Senegal. The time of year you went and what the weather was like.
It was like the Caribbean.
Just hot.
Maybe the Caribbean was like there.
You mean hot all the time?
There was some cold. It had some cold vibes, but for the most part it was warm, and it felt like home because a lot of things were similar to me. You know, you had you see the boats with names on it by the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's something I'm accustomed seeing growing up, where the fishermen give their boat a name and paint all kind of thing on it. And then when would buy fish, and you know, a lot of it was the same. I think what we may have.
The reason I ask this in terms of the temperature, you know. No, I'm saying in terms of the temperature, we have warm, we have hot, and then it have like, damn.
But I think Senegal is close to the ocean.
Oh, so there's a cool breeze.
I think Senegal is close to the ocean. At least a part of it is close to the, you know. So
I grew up in Trinidad where it's hot. It's hot. But one of the things that I forgot is that shop used to close, let me say, from like 12 o'clock until like 3 in the evening. You see that time of day, between 12 and 3, that is when you could see the heat coming off of the kitchen. When everybody inside.
Yeah, that's siesta at that time, brother.
Yeah, and some people also feel that simply because you're born there, you're from there, that you shouldn't complain about the heat.
Aye.
When you're back home, but sometimes it's a different something you encounter from even Florida.
I got brave one time I went home because, as far as I'm concerned, I'm Jamaican all the way through when it comes to I can deal with the temperature and all of that. I took off my sandal and decided to walk on the blacktop, what we call blacktop here, or the concrete. And I'm here dance till me get to the grass because I was like, oh God, the soles of my feet have changed. Okay, I thought it was hilarious, but I was hurting. Seriously.
Why you do that, bro? Why would you do that?
I lost my Jamaican card right there in there.
What's that? Triple bill? Why would you do that?
Because I used to walk barefoot when I was there. So of course, you know, come on, you can still walk up. No, I danced, I ran.
So you do the ballet and
It's a matrix stuff, man. I'm serious.
Watch you going to walk. Watch you. And they watching you, and you're like, I got it. And next thing is
I didn't get it.
That happened to me. I sitting down in the yard, and a partner of mine who I know from small passed by. I didn't even recognize him. The person in the yard said, hey, Victor, what happened? I said, Victor. I said, is Victor from there? They say, yeah, I Tor. We used to call him Tor. I said, I Tor. So I said, hey, and I hail him up and jump up now to go meet him. Didn't put on my shoes. And no, this wasn't even the hot pitch on gravel. I walking on the gravel and I'm like this, ooh.
Or the stones and the rocks licking up your foot too, right?
So he looking at me, walking, coming to him.
We get so
first of all, he didn't recognize me off from jump. And here's this Rasta man coming to him. Ooh. So he started up and watched me from head to toe, like, who the hell is this one? I had to stand up on the grass to talk to him because I couldn't stand up My feet tender. We have changed. And some of you all, Mr. Phonics, you all go. I see you all by the Chinese people getting pedicures.
Not me.
Not
He said not me.
Not me. Also, when I go to the all them people as me, all my family, they say, boy, you don't want a soft mash? That's them sandals with the toe inside, right? That's a soft mash, right?
Push those slippers, yeah.
Right. I don't wear that. I wear that sneakers, partner. Because you see that heat? Nah. I'm wearing a very durable shoe. So in case I have to run, you know what I'm saying? that red mud is real.
Man, you know things bad, right? You know, like in the 80s, a lot of the roads weren't pitched.
Right.
So of course you'll always have a stone. If a dog want to come out and play their bad, you could pick up you could act like you're picking up a stone and the dog will just dart off.
Take off. Gone.
Well, you know, a lot of the roads paved now, eh? You can't find a stone anywhere.
But let me bring up a next point here.
Oh God.
I remember being ridiculed for taking extra steps to secure my passport and ticket when I'm home. One time when I was home on vacation, let me just say one individual, they couldn't understand why I was so much in love with America and what was the big deal if I stay a few extra days and not return to this precious America like they called it. You know, why are you so concerned about your ticket? Where's the big deal if you stay a few more days? What a lot of people fail to, I don't know if any of you all ever encountered this, but what they fail to realize is that first of all, you didn't leave last week. It's been a few years. So you've settled in to this America or England or Canada, wherever you may be. You have family. You have something called rent. You have something called a job.
Yeah.
You have this thing called an apartment, which don't belong to you.
You have to pay for
which means if you stay there, you may return and find your stuff on the sidewalk.
Right.
So some people home, they just don't. I don't know about now, because now people, you know, you have more of the American culture in through cable TV and whatnot. And I don't know if they relax, but a lot more people coming up and whatnot and back and forth. But in my time, it was a rare thing for somebody to get a visa and come. It wasn't just common. So people just didn't understand what is this thing about this America you keep running back as if somehow I supposed to come down and just stay for a month and not come back up.
You live in large. That's what's going on. You know, the I guess that idea is probably has probably changed by now.
No, it hasn't.
No, not a full 100, not a full 100. Not a full 100. But what I'm saying, a lot more folks are aware that, you know, where you live in, a dollar is a dollar. You know, and
I would say no in Jamaica.
Well, again, not everybody will get the memo.
The hand is out the moment you step off that.
Not everybody will get the memo. But you know, it is a thing that they you know, it's sort of, people kind of lax off for that a little. Some they kind of lax off because they understand that, you know, it costs you, you know, and a lot of the things we pay for here at certain prices, you know, in the Caribbean, it's dirt cheap. You know, I remember when with the cell phone, at one time we were paying for outgoing and incoming calls in the States here. Home, they only paid for outgoing. If their phone run out of money, they could still receive a call.
Right.
They didn't pay for receipt.
Did you sell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you had to make a call, you had to go and top up your phone, and then you could make the call. But if you had no money, at least you could still receive a call. And here we were paying for outgoing and incoming, and then forget the cable bill. Their bill is like, if you compare it, is night and day, and they gain more channels than getting here, but that the package alone.
Yeah, that's a fact. Even with the food, though, even with something as simple as doubles, I think it was a couple years back, doubles went up a little bit in Trinidad, and people was like, "Oh God, doubles. How much was it? It was like $2, right? Now doubles $4, right? In Trinidad,
I can't remember.
Doubles
here is Mr. Doubles.
in over there in Joy's restaurant. They doubles is be like $8.
Trini girl fly said no,
man. She said it didn't go up. No, man. Doubles by Joyce here. Doubles. Look, I buy doubles up to last night, and God as my witness, I don't know what it costs, because if I had to buy something that I have to buy, I generally don't check price. If I had to eat, I eat.
What I'm saying is, I'm piggybacking off of Mr. Samuel. The things in America cost more. When you go Trinidad, the person Trini girl fly, how much is that double? She might chime in. How much is that double? I think I paid maybe $5 TT a double. I'm not sure. In America, you go Joy's, status doubles is like $6, $7.
Doubles. A roti is like.
So you're telling me that a doubles is now a price of a roti?
No. A doubles is like two something.
The doubles I just get.
No. Doubles going up.
I don't get regular doubles with China.
You get quadruple.
Shrimp.
What double you get?
I get a little
No. I take doubles.
You get a loaded double.
Okay, people in the chat, let us know. Doubles in the States has gone up.
Right, that was showing it. So
you eating fancy. We're eating doubles with shrimp.
No. Okay, here what? We cannot pay the Trini price for doubles in the States.
Shrimp.
I'm piggybacking off of what you're saying. Let me take off the shrimp.
Well, then you're lowering down the price. I never hear anybody eat doubles with shrimp. Where you from?
So the guys Joy is Joy's making that to them.
You have to order that. That's a special order. You can't order doubles with shrimp.
No, hear what? I remember when doubles was $2 in Brooklyn.
Right.
But doubles was also $2 in Trinidad.
All right. All you see me moving here? Hold on. Watch this. Watch this. What does that say? Joyce. Let me read. Hold on. Look at that. Look at that. Look. The middle line. $2 doubles. Where's the price? $5. $2.50 a doubles.
Okay.
Wait, hold up.
This is last night.
Wait. All right. When you translate, when you convert the money now.
I don't know the exchange rate. What's the exchange rate?
It's not a fair conversion because they're earning less than that.
But so how much are doubles supposed to be in the States?
Actually, I find that to be quite reasonable.
About 50 cents, right?
No, you're talking about the exchange rate, but we say $1 is $1.
You have to look at labor.
So the labor in this, look, we have some prices.
Labor is a major part of whatever the cost of the cooked item is.
Wait, doubles is $1 in Queens?
Where in Queens so you can get a double for $1? Stop it, man.
No, man. See, doubles are up. I'm telling you, doubles is plenty money,
Doubles is Mr. Doubles right now. That's what I'm trying to tell earlier.
Watch now, doubles.
Never hear that in my life.
Doubles is really triples now.
You see, Mr. Phonics have an enlarged appetite. Mr. Phonics eating doubles with shrimp, triples with shrimp, and what I paid $8. That is not no doubles. That is not no regular doubles.
The point I'm making off of Mr. Samuels, right? Listen, if it's, let me say it's $2 in US, right? For doubles. In Trinidad, it's 7-1, correct?
Is it?
Somewhere there.
Black market is
when you go to Trinidad, if you say If you are doubles man and you say $14 for doubles, they cuss you and beat you. You cannot pay $14 in TT for no doubles, man. They're gonna look at you crazy. That's the point I'm making.
Well, right. So,
Mr. Samuel.
No, okay. So people get confused. I remember when doubles was just the China and the two
Barra.
Right.
The Barra.
Then I remember one day I was at this with the spot on Rogers and Church. What was the name of that one day?
Rogers and Church.
I don't
know that one.
No, Ali's is on Fulton Street, right?
So Glenda's?
No, Ali's is on Utica.
It's Glenda.
And right, Utica. So who was on no,
I can't remember the name. That's a spot that opened up late. That wasn't in the early days. That was late.
Okay, so there was one.
Hold on, you all have to excuse the young lady. I introduced her to doubles, so she don't know. She excuse her. She don't know nothing about it.
No well entrenched in
Okay, so I remember standing up waiting in the line, and then a lady say, "Hey, put a piece of chicken in it for me."
I used to go to Sylvia's in thing there, although that's more
and then all right, you see, doubles is now $5 to $6 in TT. That's the point I'm making. You see it, right?
We understood. We just wanted to mess with you.
So what? $5, right? $5 in Trinidad, right? How much should it be here? If it's
like 75 cents, something.
Right, that double's supposed to be $1.
But labor is part of the believe me, the labor cost for cooked food, prepared food, is much different. If you go and buy all your raw ingredients, it can probably work out to that. But
we ain't talking about that now. Remember a doubles man, take he doubles, he fully two can of thing, he put it on a bike, he come and he stand up, he kick back that bike in the market.
And he finished
a restaurant up here pay thousands of dollars a month.
Thank you.
All kind of food,
overhead and labor.
Yeah, all conversation should not apply. You mean conversation or conversion?
I think he means the conversion.
Conversion, Raymond. We shouldn't convert the money because it's different lifestyles, different cost of living. All that.
You know what's so funny about this conversation right now? We talking about doubles.
We're hungry.
Yeah. We're supposed to be talking about something else.
No, it's all part of the thing. It's all part of the same conversation. Because let me say I go home right now and I don't have no currency, and I go and I order doubles. I wouldn't mind giving him $2 American for the doubles. He gonna look at me and feel blessed.
Right.
Because if I pay $2.50 up here.
No. Okay, let me fix that. He will not be looking at you as a blessed. He looking at you like, this man's stupid.
Right. Right. His man has to be. He said it's $2.50. He was saying it's $2.50.
He said it's my daughter. She gave me $2.
What's up? He do like this. Look.
Please.
Keep it moving.
But yeah, I would pay $2 for a doubles if I insure that $2 American dollars, because again, unless the bar tintin so I see through it, you ain't getting away.
Hear what? If something costs something, right? And you ask
something. What type of English that?
Again, I'll be in general.
If something costs something. Stop it, man.
If something costs something, and you don't know the price,
are your problem that?
And you tell the person, hey, how much this costs? And they say, well, give me $4 now. You know they're overcharging you.
Right.
Well, give me $5 now. They're overcharging you because they're not telling you that this is $2 or it's $3. They're gonna say, now give me $5 now.
Yeah, they're ripping you off.
Give me $10 now. When you hear that line, you know you're paying more.
Yeah, more than you should.
You're paying more than you're supposed to be paying for whatever that service is.
Okay, let me switch this up a bit. I want to bring, I hope Trini Sugar's still with us, that she could chime in to this part of the conversation, and I was hoping that our other guest would have joined us by now. Nevertheless, Sam, you and I have graced the same stage before.
Yes, sir.
actually on numerous occasions in America.
Yes.
What do you think is the likelihood of that happening in Trinidad?
What, you and me gracing a stage in Trinidad?
Gracing the same stage as foreign artists in Trinidad.
Singing calypso?
Just gracing the same stage as foreign artists. What do you think the possibility of that is?
That would be a hard possibility. Unless we're funding it ourselves. If we're funding it,
that's the point I'm making as a hip hop artist that play pan. They're not gonna really.
Yeah, it's
They're not gonna go grab to that.
It's kind of it tough because there's a certain let me watch how I say it. But there's a certain unwritten understanding with the community home in terms of once you live in abroad, then you know certain benefits are cut off for you as an artist home. So you have a lot of Calypsonians here that they don't get any play home at all. Or if they get in play is because they don't know that the artists live in here or in Canada or in the UK. So they may keep that a secret because they're getting airplay and maybe they'll get called for a gig to perform.
Well, in Jamaica, sorry, go ahead.
But you know, so you and I would have to be Grammy Award winning artists, and then you know, if we get that, then you know they go say, oh, there's Grammy Award winning artists, and they're doing tunes with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and Beyonce and them people. Oh yeah, bring them, let us and you go home, you know, because now you at a certain thing, but it's how it is. Well, you know, and I was even home one time. I was home one time and there was a commercial running on the radio, and I remember the line where the song said something to the, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the line exactly, but they were saying something to the effect of, even Trinity-born David Rudder leave Trinidad and living in Canada or some kind of something, and they put it in the song. And I'm listening to the song, and there's a commercial, right? And I say, wait, they're that disrespectful out here?
Well, in Trinidad, they have a lot of disrespectful commercials.
Because you want to tell me that all the work and the heart and soul that David Rudder put into the culture
in Trinidad
and represent TNT around the world and all kind of thing. All right, he moved to some place to live. You're going to say, even Trinity-born Rudder leave. And you're like,
Trinidad and gone.
Yeah, and you know, I was like, wow.
I remember when I went home to sing Calypso, nobody told me, I didn't get the memo that it's supposed to be a hard process. I didn't know that. Luckily, I didn't know it's supposed to be a difficult process. So I went down, eager. I'm going to sing in the tent this year. I got to get in the tent. And I took, you remember, Sam, you're the one that actually pressed my CD and sent it down with Devon George.
Right.
I went down and then you send the CDs home for me.
And you had sheet music.
Yeah, I said those CDs I actually took to I heard that a former schoolmate of mine is now working in the radio station. I was like, okay, I got a hookup. And I took the CD to the radio station, called him. He came outside and is like, I looking at this guy, didn't recognize him from the paint on the wall. Don't know him. I know the name, couldn't recognize the individual in front of me. He didn't know me, I didn't know him. Anyway, we went to school together. He know everybody, I know everybody. He know, but we don't know each other. Anyway, This is me. That's my CD. Hold that. Play that. Listen to that. You have to be out. Wicked tune. I went to my cock my ears to the radio and I listened. And I listened. No such luck. No such luck. Yeah. Nevertheless, when I attempted to get into Young Kings, to sing with Young Kings, and I attempted to get in the Soca Monarch competition and many different shows. When they get my CD, they say, where you from? All right, stand up over here.
It's messed up.
No, I heard a show being advertised on the radio, and they said the show starts from 10 in the morning. They say, walk with your CD or your cassette, and you're guaranteed to get on stage and perform. Now, mind you, this is in Constantine Park in Mokoya, Tunapuna, where I grew up. So people I know gonna be in the audience. I say, yes, I have to go up there. I go up there, and I hand them a CD. They say, all right, stand up over here. Big man, hours upon hours going by, and I watching artists coming in. Now coming in and handing the tape and going up on stage. I see Iowa George, I see Crazy, I see Gypsy, I see some people come, show up and just hand the CD and going up on stage and sing. I understand you got to give some respect to the veterans in the business and whatnot, but the line over here getting longer and longer. When I asked a young fella where he from, he said he from Siparia. If you're familiar with Trinidad, Siparia is in the bottom right-hand corner. We're talking miles down the road from Tunapuna. He leaves Siparia and come to Tunapuna to get a chance to sing. Mind you, the show ending, I can't remember the exact time. Let's say it was 11 o'clock. At 11:15, they say, all right, guys, come up. You're getting up on stage now. All you get is a verse and a chorus. And the young fella now about to go on stage. I said, no, young man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't let them disrespect you like that. And he caught up in a limbo. He said, but I have to sing. I said, no, you don't have to take that disrespect. And he got up on stage and they put on a CD and he said, click, done. And he, off.
Wow.
Dr. Henry, come. I said, no. Give me my CD, please. Give me my CD. I took my CD and left. I said, no, you're not going to disrespect me like that. The mere fact that we were unknowns, the mere fact that I living in America and this fella from way in the bush and the other person they never hear about here, it was total disrespect for the artists who are upcoming and trying to make it. How are we supposed to thrive as a people, thrive as a culture? How are these artists supposed to make it in this industry if they're stepping on the necks of the people and preventing them from doing what it is they were born to do, their God-given talent? This young guy, I asked him after, he spent like $10,000 or something in the studio to produce this one song. And he went up there and got to sing for like 35 seconds. And do you know that this song no longer qualifies for the next carnival to enter any competition because it was played publicly, it was performed publicly the year before? $10,000 going down the drain. He can't play that song again next year or enter it in any competition. Wasted money. And this is the treatment we get as artists, as foreign artists, going home to sing. I found out from an artist here in Florida. He said he goes home every year, every carnival. I say, you're that much in love with carnival? He said, no. I have to be seen. I have to let the people see me. Let them believe that I live there.
Oh, okay.
And that's the only way I will get the respect. Because if they know that I live in outside the country and they don't see me for carnival and they don't see me walking the street during the year, then they put me down as a foreigner.
Right.
And I will lose the status I have as an artist now.
That's crazy.
You see the stupidity in that?
Yeah, that's ignorant.
Like you look at where U2 is, Rolling Stones, Beach Boys, Duran Duran. I'll sit here and call groups, Bee Gees, all of them. You don't see their people disrespecting them like that.
No, they uplift them.
They uplift these people. They respect them. They come to the shows, and even if they have the record home, they're buying the music again. Yeah. They're buying the T-shirts. They're buying the merch. And this is what we do to ours. We have Calypsonians here in the States that not getting any love home. And then you have the artists from home come here and get all the love.
Get top dollar to perform.
Get top dollar to perform. Now, I don't mind if somebody from home come and get a bless, get a bless. But the people here can't go home and get blessed at all. What we do here is that we help them pay bills home. That's what we do. When they get a call Monday morning, hey, they're going to cut the light in. Because send them a little thing now.
You know you need an ID card to perform in Trinidad? You have to have like a Trinidad ID.
They still have that?
Yeah, man, you have to have an ID. You gotta go and get a TUCO card. You have to get a card showing that you belong to this organization in order to enter competition and get to perform and stuff like that.
Wow.
It don't work like that. You don't just walk down. And I was rejected entry to many of the tents. The people like my song, but then when they ask, like, where you from? Because nobody hear about Dr. Henry. And stupid me at the time, I didn't know. Yeah, Brooklyn. And oh, okay. You from Brooklyn?
Stand over here.
Stand up over there.
Go in this corner here.
And truth be told, you know the tent I end up getting into in Trinidad? Freshwater Yankee.
Wow.
That was the name of the tent, Freshwater Yankee.
Well, that's the one that was in Brooklyn.
The same one in Brooklyn.
Same organizers, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Same tent. We had artists who live in foreign and who outside of the country performing in Trinidad. And that's the tent that I got in because Spectacular and these other tents, no. The minute they hear you live in Brooklyn, you have a different line for you. Stand up over there. And there was no chance of me getting in with the locals and performing.
But I remember that your music was scored and you had to pay someone to score the music again.
Again, exactly.
I kind of thought that was really an interesting situation. So they couldn't read what was written here by another Trinidadian, but
yeah, they actually told me I had to score the music over. Why? And they scored it over, and guess what was the heights of that? It didn't sound any different. It didn't sound any different when it was played. It's the same notes. When I looked at the two, one was scored by Belfast and one was scored by this other gentleman who basically tell me you have to do this. And the fact that his name was attached to it as the person who scored the music got me into certain shows, and I even sang and the police band in Trinidad backed me because of his signature on the score sheet.
So I guess this is why the music can't survive.
And that's another thing. The art form, some people won't want to say it, but it's dying, and it's because of situations like this. My opinion, it's dying.
That's what I'm saying. It's an out-of-pocket industry where the artist is taking his and her out-of-pocket money to do it.
Yeah, independent.
And that is what's keeping it alive. It's not really, there's really no industry to say, well, what does the calypso or soca market amass to on an annual basis? You probably can't even find that number. There's probably you can't say, well, it's $1 million business, it's a $1 billion business. You can't, because all the artists who bring in their music, they're paying out of pocket. There's nobody signing a soca artist in Trinidad or in the Caribbean. Okay, we're gonna sign this artist, invest $100,000 into them because we have a marketing campaign that we're going to do with this artist, and all right, we're going to put, how many, and then there's nothing. What number are you going to call it? Because it's an out-of-pocket expense type of thing. Everybody who brings their music is independent, and then to get airplay down there is a whole next thing.
I heard Karen earlier
That's a different
objected.
show.
I heard Karen objected earlier on. What were you about to say about Jamaican artists or something about
This
Jamaica?
is after you take a round trip around the globe. You come back to me. I was trying to chime in on what you guys.
Let's see how them. Let's see how
it go on. I was trying to agree with the Trini thing that it also exists in Jamaica, but you guys are saying that as foreign artists, you wouldn't be put together on stage on the same. But in Jamaica, even the local artists can get played, and that's been true for decades and decades in the industry. It's who you know and who likes you that you get airplay. And as far as the bigger artists, as the old saying, you have to bust abroad before you can bust a yard. Straight up.
I like that.
I'm just agreeing with what you guys had said about TNT.
You gotta bust a what? Bust
abroad before you can bust a yard.
Before you can bust a yard. Yeah, I like that.
It's true.
Look, in the 80s, in the 90s, late 80s into the 90s, on the reggae scene in Brooklyn, there was a large contingent of artists. We're talking about Red Fox, Screechy Dan, Sluggy Ranks, Mikey Jarrett, Trevor Sparks, Shaggy was part of that. Also, Raven was part of that contingent there. People like James Bond. And these artists, when I talk about music and a vibe that was in Brooklyn, but very few of that group to say made it big in Jamaica. They were bigger foreign. Shaggy is one that broke out, international artist.
Yeah.
Right, but very few. And we talk about some people that are still performing today, like Screechy Dan, still performing, still putting out hot tunes. But I have never seen them on a reggae Sunsplash. When Sunsplash was going on, I've never seen them on Sting. And that's the difficulty that foreign artists face.
I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then now if the, let's say the Caribbean community here creates some sort of a cohesive thing now, then it's going to rival the artists when they come up for Labor Day and Miami Carnival and those other things, because now you have a contingency here kind of doing the same thing, servicing the needs of the artists here.
The need of the public.
What do you mean?
No, you say if the artists come together servicing the needs of the public during the year, and then we could do something for them for Carnival, is what you're saying?
No. I was just basically saying that because now you were talking about Jamaican artists going through the same thing that we're talking about with the Calypsonians and the soca artists that would reside here. So I said if there was a cohesive, let's say you had a cohesive setup or a structure where it included the DJs, it included the stations, it included the promoters, and now this conglomerate in the States pretty much serviced the artists here, whether you're from Trinidad or you're from Jamaica or wherever you're from, and they service that here. That structure or that business model will rival work now for artists home to come here and work. You understand what I'm saying? So it would be a disadvantage if that is here to the artist home that will want to come here and perform, because now you have a contingency here to service the artists that are based here.
But aren't you always looking for fresh blood, young blood, different vibes?
But it might be good, because if it causes an issue, then they may open up the vault down there and say, well, let me play the fellas from the States now, because we want to get work. We want to work at Miami Carnival. We want to work at Baltimore Carnival. We want to work at DC Carnival. We want to work at Labor Day. We want to come to the States and perform. You see? But we don't have any structure here. So it's open season. So then
any promoter can get anybody and bring them up and do what they have to do.
The artists here now how to still keep their day job. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, people, I noticed Trini Girl also stated down there that you need a national ID now. And I'm wondering if she's saying that in reference to performing, that you need some, because I did hear that you need to have an ID in order to actually.
I think she was responding
perform.
to when you said that you needed an ID at the time.
ID. Okay, so I just saw the comment, so okay. I didn't know if it was in reference to that. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, as we close, I'm not gonna put no question. Karen does get vexed with me whenever I ask a question and tell her to close in that thing. Give us your thoughts, give us your pearls of wisdom. Take it back from the top.
We're not taking nothing back from the top. There's no reason. Anyway, what I wanted to, we're not taking nothing back from the top.
Rewind.
When I think of the yearning that a lot of people, myself included, have, whether you're from the islands, from the US, South America, it doesn't matter. You have a yearning to learn about your ancestors, to see the lands they came from, to get a real feel for what they experienced. The people who gave birth to your parents or your grandparents. You want to know more about them, more than what is shared in books or in whatever media. I pictured, say, myself talking to an elder in, say, Ghana, because I have traced my heritage there. And I came up with something that I just wanted to share. And this is from the elder speaking to me or to anyone who is visiting. Where have you been? What have you seen? Do you mean me harm? Why are you following me? You seek answers I do not have. You cry tears I do not understand. Your blank stares make me cringe. What happened to you when you left this land? The history books drip with words, but your journey, no matter how arduous it may have been, is nothing compared to what I have reaped. That's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Mr. J. Phonics.
Yes, sir.
Take us home.
Well, hopefully I'll be performing in Trinidad one day as an American hip-hop artist with Trini roots. That's a dream of mine, and to be received in a well manner. Will that day come? I don't know, but it needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed. I really appreciate this conversation. It's very healthy for people of descent and coming here to different states or different countries. Just African people, Caribbean people. If we go to Ghana or something, like you said, hopefully they can welcome everybody with open arms. I see the earrings behind you, Karen, and I just keep thinking about our people. Those are lovely earrings, by the way. Those earrings are amazing.
Thank you.
But
BantuKreations on IG, people.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
BantuKreations.
I love to see my sisters rock earrings like that,
cool.
in remnants of who we are. Cool. But we need to be more like the earrings. We need to be more of a collective as people. I see it every day with Asian people. I don't envy them. I actually model them. And I wish Black people would model other nationalities on how they move as a group. And just maybe we can get to what we discussed tonight and have less of that.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Samuel Archer.
Yeah.
Real beer is Carib.
I'm gonna big up Carib. I think we need a drink. We need a drink called Arawak. So, if you have Carib, you must have an Arawak drink or Arawak beer. I would like the folks who enjoyed the program, and even if you didn't enjoy the program, to please like on Facebook, like on YouTube, and share this episode, and share the last one, and share the last one. And then when you share those, share the one before that. And just keep sharing and help the show. Based on what we spoke about a good couple of things tonight. At the end of the day, everybody just wants some love.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, we all have to live. And, you know, just be kind. Just be... just be kind. And just spread love. And that's my message for tonight. Yeah, brethren, you take it from there.
I love to speak. I met everyone tonight, but I would love to connect with y'all after the show another time. Very interesting. I really appreciate everybody. Mr. Samuel, pleasure meeting you. Karen, pleasure meeting you. And to Dr. Judith, who had to go, pleasure meeting you. And as always, Mr. Henry.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how many of you all are familiar with a gentleman by the name of Hugh Masekela.
Yeah, I know.
He passed away a few years ago, I believe at the beginning of 2018. He was from South Africa. He was a performing artist, a trumpeter, a jazz musician. And one time he said that he was so terrified after losing his ability to speak the African languages. He was in exile for well over 20-something years, 30 years, somewhere there. And he said he knew it was time for him to touch the African soil once again because he started dreaming everything in English. He stopped dreaming in Afrikaans. He stopped dreaming in his African language. Everything that he dreamt was in English, and that terrified him. It showed how much his soul had disconnected from his roots, and he knew that it was time to set foot on his natural soil again. So people, for those of you, those of us, self-included, who haven't been home in some time, wherever home might be, or if you have an inkling to visit Africa, whichever country, do so. Get back in touch with your roots. Get back in touch with that soil. Because that grass, that earth, it has energy. Walk barefoot. Don't mind if it hurts after getting a few manicures and pedicures up here, but get home and touch that soil. There's magic in that. And do not disconnect yourself for too long from your homeland, wherever home might be. Get back in touch with your roots. Thank you all so much for joining us. Karin Forrester, Mr. J. Phonics, Samuel Archer, Dr. Judith Barnes. I'd like to thank those who joined us in the chat. Carol Knight, Trinigel Fly, Miss Lucy O'Brien, Raymond Richardson, good to see you. Andrea Lamott. And we had a couple others, Trini Sugar, and we had somebody else. Yes, my sister-in-law, Sherelle Moore. Good
Curtis,
night.
ask J Phonics to share his platform. He hasn't mentioned his platform.
Yes. And Sherelle Hope, my sister-in-law, thank you all so much for joining us in the chat room. We look forward to seeing you all next week, the week after that. If you cannot join us, no business, join. J Phonics, as we say goodbye to the people, tell the people where they can find you, share your social media contacts, your links, wherever people can get in touch with you.
You can find me on Instagram at soulbaby_ENT on Instagram, on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. I have a new album just came out September. It's called The Blacked Out Project. All they have to do is type in J.Phonixx. You could Google my name and the album should pop up. and you'll hear some of my work. And I pay tribute to my late father and my mentor, Ken Fillmore. I was taught under Ken Fillmore, who passed away.
Wow.
I used to play under Ken Fillmore in Brooklyn with BWIA sonatas. And he told me, make sure you uplift the instrument in whatever you do. I said, Ken, I'm going back Miami, I'm going to be a rap artist. He said, whatever you do, uplift the instrument. So I am the first hip-hop MC to rhyme and play steel drum live in a show. So it's history. Big up Trini, big up AA, big up all the Caribbean. One love, everybody.
Bless.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Hi, I'm Dr. Judith Barnes. I'm an author, a playwright, poet. I'm also a broadcaster by training, and I recently found out about 2 years ago that I can paint paintings, which means I paint sceneries, I paint landscape, I paint animals. I have just discovered, and so that I can do this. And so along with all the other gifts and talents that I've been blessed with, I have paintings, and they are on view and for sale on Etsy and also on Facebook. And if you desire to order any painting or order one of my books, because I'm also an author, please give me a call at 470-564-8267. That's Dr. Judith, and the number again, whether you want to just talk to me or order one of my paintings or one of my books, please feel free to call 470-564-8267. Thank you.
Hello there and welcome. My name is Curtis Henry. Over the past few weeks, as we were putting the final pieces together to get the show on the road, some people ask, why do you need to showcase Caribbean people? Why Caribbean Chat? And I say, why not? Because we as Caribbean people have worked too hard, come too far, and suffered too long for us to continue taking a backseat. It's time for us to rise up, speak out, and show the world the value and the richness of our culture. So I'm providing a platform to showcase the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, and economics. We will explore the many profound contributions they have made to society. So we invite you to stay with us as we launch what is to become one of the greatest voices of Caribbean people, for Caribbean people, by Caribbean people. On this platform, Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. Welcome to Caribbean Chat. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are Caribbean Chat.